hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here. It's true. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated. It's true.
Our problem has been, as black people, we've always been concerned about white America, never about...
I can't be a pessimist because I'm alive. To be a pessimist means that you have agreed that human life is an academic matter.
We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.
Oops. Thank you for tapping in. It's Brian HRap B. Williams. This is a few minutes of HRap brought to you by End of the Bench Media. Thank you for tapping in. It is another glorious day, Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what I'm going to ask you to do? Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tap in, or you can simply go to www.thaendofdabench.com, as you see on the bottom of the screen, and go there and watch the program, and it will do me and the people who are we support today. It will be Black Excellence and Abundance. We're going to talk about pre-segregation Black America, because I'm talking about community building. I want us to see what is available to us if we just stop listening to others, listen to the white noise, and start listening to ourselves. And when I say white noise, that does not have anything to do with race or culture. White noise means sounds that don't make any sound. Now, I want to thank my parents, Dolores and John. Without Dolores and John, there is no me. Without me, there is no program. You'd be doing something else. As usual, go to www.thaendofdabench.com, tap in, subscribe, and leave a comment. Do what you have to do. Let me know where you're from. That's important. I want to know where you're from. I want to see who want to reach it inside of the country, the people who do it. And if you don't, I'm glad that you're watching. Now, basically designing the community. That's the key. We must design this community. Why we need to do that? What makes a community? What makes a community is the people. People first and foremost. You have the land mass, and then you have the people, because the land mass is a vacant lot. It's just a vacant lot. It's not a community. The community is comprised of the people. You must have people with like minds. You must have people with like minds in order to accomplish one salient goal. That goal is for prosperity, peace, and advancement of the culture. Now, where are we doing that at? We're doing it all over the country. But what we have to do is start focusing on us and us only. One of the things that I'll talk about is, I mentioned, the aforementioned self-segregation, and it's not as a point of anger, because a lot of people hear you say the word segregation and you think anger. It's not about anger. It's about circulating dollars so we can use those dollars to build up our community, so we don't have to ask the government for after-school programs. We don't have to ask the government for job programs. We don't have to ask the government for things that we will be begging hand in hand, asking for things, because we will have the ability and the continuity and the ingenuity to create and come together and help thrive. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Every other culture in this country does that. Just about, if you're in a major city, and I've never lived in a small town or a rural town, but I'm quite sure a smaller town that is in the shape of a major city like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Miami, so forth and so on, Baltimore, so forth and so on. There's a segment of town carved out for a specific group of people. This is the way it works in the United States of America. What we have to do is carve ourselves out instead of always going out and going this, that, and the third. Now, the second thing in regards to a community is to understand the history of that community. Because when you have the people together, those people came from somewhere. They have certain, they have standards, which is the third thing. They have a history, and then they have anticipations, education for anticipation. As I stated Friday, the future does not exist until you create it. This was the future. We are in the future. Earlier today, I put this together, I put it on paper, and now it's happening. It's the future. I spoke something into existence and it came true. So the future is only when you get into action and make something happen. That's it. That's all. And that's what we need to do. We need to get a group of people, like-minded individuals, set up some cultural standards. We're going to get rid of, open and ridiculous drug traffic. We need to get that out of our community. Why? Because that brings about the police, who traditionally brutalize us, And when they traditionally brutalize us, we have nothing to combat with because the people who they're brutalizing are either gone or incarcerated. So we set up these standards. Our children are safe. The people in the community are working as one unit. We're a machine in that community. We're all just one. It's not rugged individualism. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you've heard me speak about we're not participating in rugged individualism. We're going to participate in a communal concept that will help each and every person. And at that point, there are no your children, my children. They are the children. There's not my house, your house. There are the homes in this community. That way, no random acts of violence, no open drug trade, no police brutality. The people who are elected officials in our community are elected by us because they're speaking for us and they're doing what we've asked them to do. We enter city council meetings and we dictate what's going to be taught in our institutions of education. We enter school board meetings, so now our books and our history won't be stripped away. Now our roads are paved perfectly. Our trash is in receptacles and emptied, and our community is clean and a beautiful place to be in. That is not reserved for rich people. That's not exclusively rich people and poor people. They just gonna have to suffer and things like that. No, that's not the way it works. Rich people, poor people, middle class people, everybody in the United States of America allegedly deserves the exact same opportunities. So if that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do. We need to make sure we're doing everything we can to ensure that our people getting the same opportunities worldwide, border to border, coast to coast. And then we will stop thinking about what you have going on and what I have going on, and we'll start thinking about us. And us does not only pertain to the people in the United States of America. Us pertains to the people who are on the planet Earth that look like us, and we will work together with those people and put ourselves in a better situation, because my zip code is 606. My county is Cook. I need to be worried about the people in Will County. I need to be worried about the people in the other counties throughout the northeastern part of Illinois, southern Illinois, central Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, so forth and so on. And then it continues to expand and expand and expand. And then it doesn't stop at the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. It crosses both of those oceans and worry about the people who look like you and I in those places. We can no longer worry about us. And because the world is bigger than you. That's why your parents took you to restaurants. That's why your parents gave you different kinds of foods. That's why your parents gave you different books to read, because they wanted you to have more of a earthy point of view, because they want you to expand. And when you expand, it's traditionally for the betterment of human life in its essence. And this is what we need to return to. Your grandparents didn't tell you to hate anybody. Your grandparents didn't tell you to mistreat anybody, as they would say, mistreat anybody. Your grandparents didn't say be greedy. And that's what we need. And that's how you design and build a community, because when you educate yourself on what is happening in your community, you either enrich what is happening that is good, or eradicate the bad. And if you don't know the bad, hence the education, you tend to repeat that. It becomes a cycle over and over. It's like pedaling a bike. If you are not talking to your parents about when they were children, and if you're not talking to your grandparents when they were children, and their grandparents were talking to them about what was going on, that way you'll know every pitfall that's in front of you, because as the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. You hear rappers say it, you hear philosophers say it, and that's the truth. You won't run into any obstacle that you haven't run into before. You disagree? 2020, we had this thing called the coronavirus, COVID-19. 1919. Well, 1924, it was this thing called the Spanish flu. It was the same type of virus. It wasn't the exact same, but it was a virus that took over the world, and it was a pandemic that crippled the United States in regards to health. Nothing is new. If you don't know these things, you don't know how to tackle. So guess what? Now, as human beings, especially us in the Black community, because Corona ran through our community like a rabid dog, what we need to do is start spraying down our countertops. We need to spray down our doorknobs. We need to make sure everything is sanitized around us. We need to get rest and eat properly. That way, your body is as strong as it can be. Your area are clean and disinfected, and you can live healthy and a long life. This is what we need to do, because history has shown us that if you don't do that, you will suffer the consequences. History has also shown us that we don't create avenues in which we can survive, whether it be grocery stores, whether it be corner stores, whether it be hardware stores, whether it be car dealerships, whether it be auto repair shops, plumbers, doctors, lawyers, so forth and so on. You will suffer the consequences because you will be at the behest of your oppressor, and you never want to be that way. It's Black History time. So what I'm going to do is show you a few minutes of a website, of a page on YouTube called Black History in Abundance. This is part 2 of a video that I showed you Friday. Go to www.thaendofdabench.com and watch the video in its entirety. I'm going to show you this video. I'll be back shortly. This is about Black history, and these are things that you need to know.
The first half of the 20th century shaped Black Americans' identity and influence in the United States. In reaction to racist actions and laws in that period, Black neighborhoods provided a sense of belonging, serving as a space not only to garner wealth, but also to create Black culture in a unique and authentic way. During this time, a Black cultural identity began to emerge, but Black Americans were still significantly affected by key events such as Jim Crow, segregation, and desegregation. Many of these communities disintegrated because of factors such as gentrification, redlining, and just outright racism, while others continued to rebuild and evolve. However, the history of these neighborhoods have often been hidden and not fully recognized. Today in this video, we will take a look at some of the thriving Black communities that developed across the country where African American businesses and activism.
Did you know that Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every month? And here's how you can get it.
Other prominent landmarks near the area include Kelly Ingram Park, the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, St. Paul United Methodist Church, and national treasure, A.G. Gaston Motel. A.G. Gaston Motel is currently undergoing restoration to serve as the centerpiece of the Birmingham Civil Rights National Monument, which was declared a National Park Service designation back in 2017.
A footnote about Mr. A.G. Gaston. He's a man who rose from poverty to become a multi-millionaire, and he wrote one of my favorite books called Green Power. It is a highly recommended inspirational story on how this man was determined, and he rose from the depths of poverty during the Jim Crow era to become a multi-millionaire and a very influential business person. A story we all should know. A.G. Gaston.
Sweet Auburn Historic District, Atlanta, Georgia. Dubbed the richest Negro street in the world by John Wesley Hobbs, Sweet Auburn was a haven for Black Atlanta residents before the Civil Rights Movement. The district.
And as you see, you go to Black History in Abundance, look up pre-segregation, those 2 videos, or you can go to my website and you see both videos. You watch them in their entirety, and you'll see the capabilities of what we have. This is the education portion that I spoke about, the education. I'm going to do it backward. The standards should come first, but these are just the 4 that I like. Education, the standards, that way we can protect our community, whether it be the women, children, or men working with men. We can stop any random acts of violence or slow down random acts of violence and put ourselves in a better situation. Education is always going to be key, because without education academically and socially, you will be lost. You will repeat mistakes that have been made time and time again. And then you have to set a standard. It must be that. You must understand what is expected of you and what is going to happen. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. If you watched before, the whole situation that we, people like myself and others who are working together with people in the community, is to set up things for our great-grandchildren's great-grandchildren. And that's what we're trying to do. Because if we set the stage now, we don't have to deal with these things. Now, something else that bothers me about our community, and this is an extremely important thing, the lack of will to understand the truth. Sound bites are lies. Do you know every day for the last 7 days, I've opened up the Facebook application and I've seen happy birthday to someone whose birthday was at least 6 months away. And you see a bunch of people in the comments, happy birthday, Queen, happy birthday, King. Oh, this is one of my favorite actors. Nobody took the time to Google this person and say, what is their birthday? Felicia Rashad was the person today. They said 3 days ago was Felicia Rashad's birthday. 3,000 people said happy birthday. 3,000 people. I didn't see all 3,000, but I didn't see anybody say this isn't her birthday. Birthday is June 15th. Her birthday is June 15th, 1948. Damn near 6 months after my mother's date of birth. You got Felicia Rashad, her birthday being celebrated today. It may seem, oh man, that's just the birthday. No, but I can get you to fall in line just by saying something. That's why all that propagandized news is being put out there. One of the biggest lies being told now is the politics. You have people celebrating people who don't like us, who has openly said they don't like us and did everything he could and they could to show you. You, as the American public, were told that Project 2025 is a joke. In the last 30 days, as a matter of fact, it's the 24th, in the last 34 days, 33 days, 31 days in January. They've done everything they can to roll back everything that our ancestors accomplished in the civil rights movement. Like it, dislike it, or indifferent about it. Anytime you roll things back that would benefit your community, that's a person who's problematic. That's a party that's problematic. See, instead of listening to sound bites and listening to, the world famous, they said, who in the entire heck is they? Because they are rarely right. They mislead more people than anybody I've ever come in contact with. And in the 54 years I've been living, I've yet to meet one person who is a part of they. They are never held accountable. They are mostly wrong. And they spread a whole lot of BS and mislead millions of people on a daily basis because people won't say, wait a minute, who is they? Until they are saying something negative about them. And then they will be brought into question at all times. But why must we wait for that? See, if you are catching small lies, that means big lies are down the road in regards to this. One of the things that made me laugh, but not in a ha-ha laugh, it was the irony laugh. The fact that the current president in Black History Month brought a group of entertainers, rappers, athletes, singers, and content creators or content movers or influencers like Jaguar Wright, like Boosie Badass, like other people. I can't think of anybody. Not Kanye West, Tiger Woods. Now, why do I have a problem with them going? I don't. But it's just awful strange that the Black community is filled with scientists, doctors, some of the greatest some of the greatest scientists, some of the greatest inventors, some of the greatest legal minds, some of the greatest poets, some of the greatest thought provokers. He fired the Black Joint Chief of Staff, and you brought nothing but entertainers. And then you even pulled the greatest magic trick in the history of the world. You took Tiger Woods from the Cabral-Asian community and made him Black. Because remember, Tiger Woods was not Black. So why are you celebrating in Black History Month? I may seem petty. You may even say you're going too far. I know. But if you haven't claimed us in all this time, don't claim us on the way when your popularity is waning. He's standing there and he literally said, I love you to this guy. You can love who you like, Mr. Wood. You can support who you like. But I just wonder and ask myself, why is it okay to be invited to this party when you were mad and you were making accusations about people when they were invited to the party with Obama? This is the problem. Everybody's upset with our former president, Barack Hussein Obama. He didn't do anything for our people. He should have done this. They need to do this. The Democrats don't do that. You hear that all the time. All I want to know is this. What has the other party promised you? I don't remember anything. Well, this is what they didn't do. What are you going to do? Nobody ever asked that. See, these are the questions that need to be asked. I don't need any rappers outside of entertainment. I don't need any dancers and singers or comedians or nobody else telling me what to think, because they're not in my class. And I don't mean I'm a better person than them. They don't get up and go to work every day. Boosie Badass claims these guys and people claim to be millionaires. Tiger Woods has been identified by Forbes magazine as a billionaire. He doesn't understand my struggle. He don't understand if I need mental health aid, that I have to go through county care or Obamacare or something of that nature. I won't get the best therapist. Tiger Woods could get somebody $1,000 an hour to be his therapist. He could do that and wouldn't even miss it. He could get somebody $10,000 an hour and wouldn't even miss it, because if you have $1 million 1,000 times, $10,000 mean absolutely nothing to you. So I don't want to be represented by people who don't understand my struggles. Tiger Woods has never led down the street from never lived in one of the most dangerous projects in the United States of America, down the street from nothing. He's never done that. Tiger Woods, I doubt if Tiger Woods has ever been shot at in his life. I have been. So I don't want to hear what some celebrity who is probably out of touch is thinking about. Now, if you had, I bet you won't invite Eton Thomas to your White House, Mr. President, because Eton Thomas is going to give you a piece of give you everything you want to hear. See, and guess what? I said this 2 weeks ago. Stop paying attention to this, because they're doing something on the right-hand side. Y'all, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Boosie Badass at the White House. Jaguar Wright at the White House. And all the rest of these entertainers at the White House, possibly Lil Wayne. I want to put you in that Lil Wayne, but I'm thinking I heard Lil Wayne. But all the people who were there, see, he's not racist. And at the exact same time, the 1892 Project is being removed. Most of us don't even know what the 1892 Project is. That is a full ride scholarship for agriculture to HBCUs. You're going to suspend that and stop the education of people who understanding how to till the land and making agriculture a science. But we're throwing a party and everybody getting free drinks and having photo ops. And you telling the president you love him. But hey, the Democrats don't do anything. If you sign 78 in 30 days, 78 executive orders rolling back things, if the Democrats didn't do anything, what were you rolling back? Well, how about this? Well, we're going to get $5,000. Do y'all understand that this dude is talking about, he's going to overpromise and underdeliver? He promising you $5,000. Do y'all understand if this dude give these people $2,800, he'll be the greatest president in the history of the world in regards to a lot of these ignorant people in the United States of America? Not taking into context that, hey, in order to get that money, you have to be broke. You have to be struggling. So if you're struggling and you get the money, that's not really saying a lot for him. He should be putting you in a position that you don't need that stimulus check. And then you're not going to get it until 2026. What's your life going to be looking like? Again, on the trajectory that it is now, what's your life going to be looking like? What have we asked this administration for as a community? Why are you taking away land grants and scholarship programs for people who will make food better for you? Agriculture enhances your way of living. Why are you doing that? What is it that he has done the first 4 years and the last 30 days? What has he done? See, it's easy to say what President Obama didn't do, President Biden didn't do, and I don't like Vice President Harris, which it is outrageously mind-blowing. What did Joe Biden do as vice president? What made him qualified to be the president of the United States of America? Was he Attorney General of the state of California? Was he a senator in the state of California? Was he the vice president and then the president? Yeah, he was a senator, vice president, president. But we have a insanely intelligent sister who's held all these elected offices, vice president and not a president. She's not smart or qualified. Why are we listening to our oppressors' point of view on us? That's what I want to know. Why is it that I've never, and salute to him, I've never heard this guy say he was going to do anything. I'm going to make food cheaper. Well, I can't do it. He literally said he was going to do that and said he couldn't do it once he got in play. That in itself, my main man just sent me a picture. That in itself would turn me away from this dude. The second thing, my main man just sent me a picture yesterday of the price of eggs in South Carolina. It is freaking insane. It's insane. Things are going up. Inflation going up. Everything he said wasn't going to go up. It's going up. Billionaires are getting stronger. How is it that billionaires getting more money is going to help you? We've been waiting for this trickle-down effect since the early 80s. Literally 40 years we've been waiting on the trickle-down effect to actually work. And it hasn't. But hey, he's not a racist. How you going to call him a racist? Well, you know what? I have a problem with people. Maybe you're not a racist, but I do have a problem with people who align themselves with racists. If I start aligning myself with people who sell dope, wouldn't it be safe to say I was a drug dealer? It actually happened to me. As my man just said, smoke screens are everywhere. You don't believe it ever happened to me. I was waiting on a cousin sitting on his front porch. I was literally sitting in the midst of an open drug trade situation, but I was waiting on my cousin to come outside. And my hair was all over the place because I had an afro at the time, and I was waiting to go get my hair cut. My favorite elementary school teacher walked out of elementary school. She looked me in my face, and the utter disgust that was on her face bothers me to this day. That was about 1989, the summer of 1989. That cut me so deep to this day. I am ashamed that Miss Johnson saw me sitting out there. And you know what? I said, no, Miss Johnson. I was trying to say, no, I'm not doing what they're doing. I'm waiting on my cousin. And she just held up her hand and she was disgusted. Can I be mad at Miss Johnson? No, because she knew I was better and she expected more. So if you hanging with drug dealers or you're in the midst of drug dealers, you can't get mad if somebody think you're a drug dealer. And if you are hanging with racists and you're hanging and all your things are anti-people of color, why would I assume that you're not? By the way, one of the things that you ran on was immigration. We need to get these people out of the country. And one of the executive orders you just signed was white people in South Africa. Yahoo, this is rich. White people in South Africa, they can come to America without a problem because they're being mistreated. Because when they took over the land via apartheid and ran the economy in the ground and took land from the natives, they signed a constitution. They created a constitution in 1992 that said those people to get their land back. And now they're getting their land back. And guess what? They're the victims. Are you serious? You mean to tell me and to this day, the people who are not indigenous to that portion of the world keeps their boot on the natives' neck up into this current regime. And they're like, y'all gonna give these people that stuff back. And now they're victims and now they have free passage to America. Isn't that what a sanctuary city is for? Where they gonna come? They gonna come to Chicago. They're gonna come to New York. They're gonna come to California and the cities. They're gonna go to cities throughout this country, but they will be white South Africans, just like the Haitians, just like the Hondurans, just like the other Central Americans, just like the Latinos in Mexico and all those places with brown people, and everybody's accepted. Nobody said a word, but y'all said it's okay. Yeah, y'all said it's okay. These are the things that you need to be aware of. Why they told you the brown people couldn't come here because they are wretched. You got white people come from South Africa because they're getting things taken from them that they took from someone. So you mean to tell me if your father had a gold hat and someone stole it and he legal, and the person who you're wearing that gold hat, and the person walks up and snatch that hat off of you and show you, this is my hat. You're a victim now, or was your father wrong? Your father was wrong. There's no victimhood in receiving what's owed to me. 40 acres, 1 mule, and $100 is owed to me. If I get it, that don't mean I cheated anybody. I just lived up to the Emancipation Proclamation. See, these are the things that we have to pay attention to. Why is it okay for a free passage for white, and he made it very specific, white South Africans to come here? But people from Haiti, people from Honduras, people from Mexico and other Caribbean islands with brown people in South American countries, basically Latinos, blacks of different variation, they can't come here and do things that you don't even want to do. We need to get them out of the country. But you're going to bring a group of white people in, not to mention the Ukrainian people that came over here as well. Nobody talks about that either. See, here's the situation. If we're going to play, we're going to play. We're going to call it like it is. If it's tall, it's tall. If it's short, it's short. If it's a touchdown, it's a touchdown. If it's a fumble, it's a fumble. There's no in-between ground. To quote the dude who I stole his name, yeah, I stole his name. It was given to me, but I keep using it, so I stole his name. It's like, if you are going to color in the gray area when it comes to humanity, that's like being almost pregnant. It ain't nobody in history where I'm kind of pregnant. You can't be kind of pregnant. Either you are pregnant or you're not. Either you are racist or you're not. Either you're fair or you're not. There are no gray areas. People say, well, but you live in a black and white world. Yes, I do. You treat people right or you don't. What I want to close out today with is this. These are the things I want to close out with. We can no longer, as I stated at the beginning of the program, we can no longer trust things that we call media. As you saw at the top of the show, Dr. Claude Anderson saying we own 1/35 of 1% of the media. But guess what? We have the means to communicate. You have, quote unquote, Black Twitter. You don't have to be there. We can go to fan base. We can go to, what is this? I got it on my phone. Oh, we can go to Spill. Spill is another Black app. See, we have the means to go to a specific place and create mediums for us so we can have conversations and we can set our standards. Whether you like him or not, sometimes he gets on my nerves, but the brother Roland Martin, from my point of view, is doing everything he can to uplift our community. I trust him for what it's worth. I don't know if he has a hidden agenda, but what I do know is the things that he says I look into, and they are traditionally factual. I haven't run into anything that I will go, oh, I don't trust Roland Martin. So our sister Joyanne Reed, follow her on Instagram, follow her on TikTok, follow her wherever she is. She probably gonna go to fan base, but we need to support Joyanne Reed here. Support the people who are supporting us. See, what we have to do is get out of this thing to whereas we regurgitate facts that are presented to us by people who hate and despise and want to destroy us. We can no longer live in that fictitious universe. No, we can no longer live there. Well, what are these Black kids? They crazy. No, they're not. No, they're not. Because college enrollment is up like 22% at HBCUs. It's not a whole lot of non-Black people going to historically Black universities and college. That's not happening. What, there are literally tens of thousands of young people, 14, 15 years old, getting full ride scholarships at Harvard, at Yale, at Princeton, at UCLA, at USC, on both coasts, University of South Carolina, University of South California, Southern California. The Black young men and women are excelling. Hey, if you didn't notice, the dude who revitalized PF Chang is a young brother from Baltimore. He's originally from Nigeria, but he was raised in Baltimore, Maryland. He's Nigerian. He's a Nigerian brother, but he was raised right here, which makes him a Black person either way. But guess what? He revitalized PF Chang, and now he's revitalizing Red Lobster. How is it that he's 36 years old and done that, but young Black people are crazy? Young Black people don't know what they're doing. See, again, you are being told what to think. You are not thinking on your own. Because why is it that we don't see young black? What about the young black man? How many of us know about the young black man who had 114 full ride scholarships waiting on him? And then you have white people saying he's being greedy. He shouldn't apply for all those. Yes, he should have. He has options. It's called options. We don't hear about those people. We hear about the guy that robbed the store, who pulled the gun, who shot. Do y'all understand that young black men and women save their lives every single solitary day? We need to be paying attention to the Joy Ann Reeves. We need to be paying attention to the Trevor Noahs. We need to be paying attention to can't think of it, Roy Wood Jr.'s. We need to pay attention to the Read Daniel favorites. My personal favorite was one man named Lamont King and Dr. Claude Anderson. And Dr. Greg Carr, Karen Hunter, and Clay Kane and Reese Culver. Reese Culver, a little spicy. Be prepared for Reese. Sister Reese will get in your behind. But these are the people who are presenting to us the facts as they've researched and as they've known them. And then you do the due diligence, going by Googling and going past the first one, because the first one is propagandized news, and go do a deep dive. One of the keys to university education is when you find something, find two more things that are reparable to confirm what you say. The research is not to validate your opinion. Research is to combat your opinion. Okay, well, they said this is not true, so I might be wrong. That's why you do the research. You don't get, well, HRap said this, and Big Mo said it, and Big Illinois said it. It must be true. No, HRap said it, and then somebody who despises HRap said it, and then somebody else who liked Big Mo and HRap and who despise HRap, they all three said so. Hey, it's a great chance that if three people who traditionally have contradicting opinions, if they all say it, it's a good chance. The Financial Times, the Roland Martin and Karen Hunter, if they all say it, it's a good chance it's right. Financial Times is where the money is. We live in a capitalistic world, and that's what it is. Stop buying into the negative propagandized information about you. What I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gone. I'm going to show you how propaganda, how the world is filled with lies, and why they want to do away with the Department of Education. They want to do away with Black history. Because, again, when you know your history, you know your power. You know your power, you know what you're capable of. If you know what you're capable of, you know what to aspire to. You know what to aspire to. The sky's endless, and it is an endless sky. Now, you were taught your entire life that former president, assassinated president, Abraham Lincoln, freed the slaves, because he didn't want people mistreated anymore. That's what you were told. How about this? You have people like John Horse. You have people like Nat Turner. You have people like Harriet Tubman and literally thousands of others. They had to create slave catchers because it was becoming less profitable to pay people to go catch these people who were at war with people. John Horse and the Seminole Indians were Seminole natives of Florida were at war with the United States against President Andrew Jackson for 40 years, 40 years before the Civil War started. That's how those brothers and sisters knew how to fight in this Civil War that came up. That's why 8 months after you gave them guns, the war ended. But you didn't hear about that. Did you hear about the Emancipation Proclamation that freed all the slaves? He freed the slaves. So next time one of your Republican homies say, I don't understand why you ain't Republican. Lincoln freed the slaves. No, he freed the slaves in the Confederate. And it literally says enslaved people in Missouri, and I think it was Kentucky and a couple other states who still had slaves. Not y'all. Y'all keep y'all people enslaved. But these people down here that don't want to cut us in with the money, we're going to let those people go. So don't just, again, if you listen to what they tell you, Abraham Lincoln is a hero. But if you know what they tell you, no. You know what they tell you, and then you find out that the whole thing is a lie. Keep doing your research. Keep finding the pride in yourself. Guess what? I have a big nose. So what? But that does not mean I'm not a handsome gentleman. I have a stomach that's going down. But that does not mean I'm fat. I'm bigger than I want to be. That does not make me morbidly obese. See, if you tell the story, then let somebody else tell the story. Well, Big Nose HRap with the little mustache, and he ain't attractive at all because he's a fat guy. But if you ask me, I have a big nose. I'm a handsome gentleman. I'm intelligent. I'm fun. I love to laugh. And I do this for my people. This is a passion project. Listen to the people, not to the enemy. That being said, thank you. Tap in a couple hours. It is a couple hours away from our being on air with the forecast. We're going to talk about Purple Rain and Prince. Not the movie. It's a documentary. Tap in right here. Subscribe, like, leave your name. Let me know where you're from. I want to know where you're from when you listen. I really appreciate you. Thank you for tapping in. Or you already know I want you to go here. It really helps. It really helps. It really helps. I want you to go here to www.thaendofdabench.com. You can watch that video about segregation in its entirety. You can watch anything that I've done over the last few months. As a matter of fact, over the last year, stuff, because I got page 1, and then it's what I did last month, and then other things. I got stuff there, man. Check me out. Tap in. Let me know what you think. Agree, disagree, or be indifferent. Participate. If you have better answers than I do, they are welcome. With that being said, I want you to understand this is your man, HRap. I'm tapping in from the End of the Bench Media. I want to thank you for tapping in with me. It was fun as usual. This is my passion project. I really, really, really enjoy this. As you see that, look at that. And thank you, everyone. Good night. 2 fingers, 1 word, and I'm HRap, and you already know.
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why